All right, so what is up, everybody? I know these breakdowns and cleanups and the reassembly videos are not quite as entertaining as the actual range videos, but these are still very an important part and very important step of firearm safety is the whole firearms maintenance, and the whole process gives you a chance to. Um, Visually inspect anything that may become before it becomes an issue, and hopefully be addressed before an emergency situation that hopefully never arises and leaves you kind of high and dry without you know your line of defense. But anyway, so yes, what we're getting into today is the Ruger LCP 380. Very small, very lightweight, very compact pistol here. Great for concealed carry in those hopefully never rising defensive situations. But it does come with a few trade offs. Like I said, the lightweight design of it does make it very concealable and quite comfortable to wear, but it also makes it a little bit more on the difficult side to control, and the overall length of the barrel is not good for accuracy at distance. But another part of this is, if you plan on carrying one of these for self-defense, is being comfortable with carrying one in the chamber, because this slide pull is very heavy. After 2 or 3 clips, I don't want to use it no more, because right here the pinch point, it gets to be a little bit painful after the second or third clip of racking this thing. So, carrying this for an emergency situation, you definitely want to have one in the chamber. And carrying one in the chamber is, especially with a firearm that does not have a manual safety. So once it's in there, just one accidental pull of the trigger and you done blowed your deck off. And well, that might not be a bad thing for some people. In general, it's just not good. So what I like to do is carry this here trigger sheath. It clips on right there, nice and good. Keeps the trigger covered from both sides from accidental pullings, even though it does have a fairly heavy trigger pull as well. It's not impossible to accidentally discharge. This here tether can be tied around a belt loop or the belt or whatever, and then nice little pocket clip there makes it readily available, so that way if it was ever needed to be drawn out, just grab that, and this will eventually detach when it reaches the end of the tether. So yeah, there's that part of it. The slab lock is right there. That is also a pain in the ass to work. It's not the most convenient, and then that right there is the clip release, and that's that's all right. That's not much of an issue at all. So that's pretty much all there is to this. So let's get into the breakdown and cleanup and reassembly part. Alright, so to clean this thing up, first you need to get that part back down. A little screwdriver and that pin. Pop it out just like that. Pull the pin, set it to the side. Let that, the slide piece separates from the lower piece. Just set that to the side there. And then remove the springs. There's actually 2 springs in there. There's a big spring, there's a little spring, and that piece. So I get real technical with my parts now. Big spring, little piece, big spring, little spring, that piece. And then there's the barrel. It's a barrel, very short, nice. Pull that out, and then the slide. All right. So get this cleaned up, and we'll get it put back together. So. All right, now that we got everything cleaned up and oiled up and all good back to, we're ready to restart the reassembly process. So first, pretty much doing everything backwards. Take that piece, or was it this piece? I don't know, that piece or this piece, whatever I called it before. Put the little spring on top of that, big spring on top of the little spring. That piece is good to go. Barrel. Reinsert that, take this, put it right like that. Slide. Nice little pin. Bam! We now have a fully functioning, back together again, Ruger LCP. So yeah, there's that one. Let's go on to the next, shall we? All right. Okay, so next up on the cleaning agenda is this here Taurus G3 9mm pistol. Compared to the Ruger LCP that we just did, this is quite a bit bigger in general, has a lot more mass and bulk to it, weight in general. But all that being said, it is still not so encumbersome that it couldn't be carried comfortably as a concealed. And, with the extra weight, this slide has a lot more mass to hold on to it, and making it easier to grip, and the fact that it does not require as much force to pull back, that makes it a little bit more comfortable and wieldy. It does have a manual safety on it, so that's I do like that, and the slide lock is so much easier to operate on this thing. The one bad drawback I do have about this is that double trigger right there. That can be a bit of a pain in the ass when you don't got it right there on the pad of your finger, and it gets in like one of your little knuckle grooves, and you go to squeeze the trigger and it doesn't depress all the way, and then you have to readjust your grip. So being a good consistent grip and finger placement with this is, very key and important. But other than that, this has been quite a decent, reliable firearm for me. So let's get into the whole breakdown and cleanup process of this one. All right, so before we get into, how this thing's going to break down, I want to mention something about the dry firing. It's something that I frown upon very much. It is, generally acceptable to dry fire, center fire firearms such as this one. But it is still, in my opinion, bad practice to do because you're pulling the trigger expecting nothing to happen, and that is a very bad mindset to be in. So I always tend to stay away from it, and this here incoming instance, it is part of the breaking down process. And first you gotta release the slide, and then right here, that little piece right there, there's another one on right there. So you have to pull the slide back just a little bit, push them down, pull the trigger, and the whole thing slides out like that. And that's the only time that I find it acceptable to dry fire. But anyway, there's this piece. And then the rest of it after that, it's pretty much the same as the LCP. You got your spring right here. You got this piece and that piece. This here is all one piece. This one doesn't really come apart like the LCP, but there is big spring, little spring, and that piece. And then, of course, the barrel and the slide. Very simple again. So let's get this one cleaned up. Okay, so now here we are again, back to the whole reassembly process. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Not straightforward in reverse. Take the slide, insert the barrel, put that there, put the springs in that piece right there. That's good. Line that all up. And there we go. Good to go again. I said the slide release was a lot easier to work, and now it's going to make the freaking lighter out on me. Ha, got it. Anyway, so there we go. A Taurus G3 9mm. All right, let's get the next one together. All right, so for this third and final firearm that we're going to be doing up for this segment is going to be the Taurus Model 850. This is a 38 Special hammerless revolver, 3-inch barrel, 5-shot cylinder, and like most revolvers, it does not have a manual safety, so it relies on a very heavy, very long trigger pull. And other than that, it's just a basic double action only. Because of the shroud, you don't have the option of pulling the hammer back, for the single action option. So it is strictly double action only. But other than that, it's a fairly basic revolver. And let's bring this down and get into it. Not really a whole lot to get into, though. Has the basic cylinder release right there. Push it forward, slide it up, and there's the empty cylinder. And that's about all it gets, There we go. Taurus 38 Special. Alright, y'all, so I know that was not as fun or exciting as seeing them out there on the range in action. But like I said, this is a very important process and step of maintaining them. So, yeah, I'll see y'all next time. See y'all out there in the range or in the pits.